Hello, hello, hello. What do we have here? Empty space. Empty, which is
Sorry.
good. Always good for an
Yes.
audio thing.
No,
Um,
no, that wasn't intentional. My mic cut out. I didn't hear
oh no.
you. And now all of a sudden I'm being accused of not speaking. Great
Yeah,
start,
but
right?
yeah, absolutely. Hello,
We roll with
everybody.
it.
We are
Hey.
PTG. I'm Lucky Sixes. The silent one over there is Hyper G, and
Yes.
this is the Ogre Khan's book review. To go
Mm.
along with our series. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm good. And Ogres, like KOE was for you, is one that I might be going into. Not quite as soon as
Yes.
you are, but Ogres is next on my list, I think. So I've not
Yeah.
been there for a while.
Absolutely.
So please educate me in the next 40, 50 hour, hour and a
Yes.
half, however long we've been taking on these.
Yeah, we ask that to the YouTube community that are inevitably going to comment and tell us how wrong we are on
Yes.
everything we say. So, a
Yeah.
noob look at the Ogre cards. As with all books, it tells you about where a little bit of fluff beforehand, and we get straight into the army model rules. Model rules being Mountain Hide, number one, attacks with multiple wounds. X have their model have against the model have halve their X value. Oh god, that was hard to say considering it wasn't a complicated sentence.
It's not,
This is
yeah.
really good for a multiple wound model based army.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't think a lot has it, to be honest, in the book.
No,
And compared to other first rules in a book that you get, all the other army books, this one's probably a bit underwhelming because it's
yeah,
so rare. But it's very good for units that have it.
yeah. It's
So
only
we will
ever going
come
to
across
cost.
it and we'll point it out when we find it.
Yeah, it's
So,
only really going to maximum save you 2 wounds, I think,
hmm
per one of these. There's not
yeah,
many times when it will be like wound 6 down to 3 or
no.
anything like that.
The
So
things just don't
it
do 6 wounds at the same point anymore.
yeah,
So,
you're one or two here and there, but I think it's quite a nice one. Touch of Frost, -1 agility for each unit containing Touch of Frost is contact with a solid rule.
I like this. I mean, I've tried to make Yetis. I mean, this is mainly on Yetis, although it
Yes,
does
yeah,
appear elsewhere. I've tried to make this work a few times over the years. Generally, I've fallen foul of just playing badly whenever I've tried to use it. So I've never really had too much success with it. But I like it as a rule. I think agility is so important in the game, so massively important. I mean, less important now that ranks and files are solid, and they're there irrespective of what happens in the combat. But I think agility is a massive one that you don't get a lot of chance to modify. So this is a nice one to have available in the book.
yeah, yeah, for sure. On to weapons, and we have the Iron Fist +1 armor against melee, +1 attack and parry. It does it all.
Yeah, I don't actually remember Iron Fist being only +1 armor against melee, to be honest. I don't know how long that's been there. Has
Hmm.
that been there forever? Because I thought it was just
Don't know.
+1 armor. But
Yeah.
interesting and cool. It's always been a pretty powerful weapon. I think a lot of the time
Yeah.
ogres have to pay quite a lot for it, as we'll see as we go through the
Okay.
book.
Yeah.
But I think parry is amazing, obviously, and +1 attack is great. So it's a really solid, unique weapon for the ogres.
Yep. Brace of Ogre Pistols, 2 shot, strength 4, AP 2, and counts as paired weapons in combat. Quick to fire, standard shoot being the nice one. I think most pistols have standard shoot, to be fair.
Yeah.
But a 24-inch range is a decent range for a decent weapon.
I think so, and AP2 is the real hidden one in
Mm,
there.
yeah.
That's going to catch a few people out. I'm probably going to sound a bit like a broken record because I think you pay a lot for these weapons, but that's probably because of the model they're on more
Yeah.
than the actual weapon. I think it just when you're dealing with ogres, you're always going to pay a lot because of their multiple wounds on their profiles. But I think it's a really good weapon, and it fits with the kind of like the piratey ogre mercenary vibe. So yeah, it's cool.
Yep. Hunting Spear, I've seen this use a little bit, but I don't know whether it's been nerfed somewhat. So it's
Hmm.
as user +1 for strength and AP, which is nice. 12-inch range, 1 shot, X plus for range, which is obviously different for different units. March and shoot, multiple wounds D3 only towards height 5. I don't know whether that's changed. Whether
Yeah,
that has
I thought
always
it used
been
to be
height 5.
4 or 5 as opposed to
Yeah.
just 5. I mean, I
Um,
remember in our last mega battle, I was running around with a few of these guys going
mm,
after your dragons, and admittedly, most of those dragons were probably height 5. But I think I was
yeah.
going after other things that weren't height 5. So I think you're right. It might have been nerfed a bit.
But yeah,
Um,
only height 5, but is a decent
mm.
weapon.
It's a very good weapon. The range isn't a problem because you're usually up in people's grill when you're throwing it.
Yeah, march
And
and
march
shoot.
and shoot is always good anyway. And multiple wounds generally. And quick to fire means you can be mobile with it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a good weapon. Very topical again.
Yeah,
Fits the
and
army.
then finally the Ogre crossbow, strength 3, AP1, area attack. So a bit of a it's a bolt thrower, isn't it? Really,
It's a bolt thrower. Yeah,
it's actually strength 6, AP2 with the area attack being strength 3, AP1.
yeah,
So yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, you might look at it and think, strength 3, how come the ogre crossbows are weaker than normal crossbows? But no, it's the bolt thrower
yeah,
part that you want
yeah.
to be paying attention to.
Only AP2 on the strength 6, so there is a bit of
Yeah,
a negative side, but otherwise it's a
I
bolt
think it's
thrower.
because the
Let's be
model
honest.
that it's on is so mobile as opposed to a
Yeah,
normal bolt thrower being able to being stood still mostly. But
yeah.
yeah, it's
But yeah,
nice.
a good mix of stuff there.
Yeah,
Moving on to big names, and there's a wide selection of these, and I quite like the variety this gives to some of the characters as well.
yeah, and they follow the general rules of magic items being legendary. So you can only have one of each. But interestingly, they choose to say it in a sentence rather than what they did in the KOE, where they just had legendary written next to each of them. But
Mm,
yeah, might have just been a different writer. Who knows?
yeah. So we have God Speaker, attached and fearless, giving the unit unstable. Um,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's weird. That's new. I mean, I do not remember that item at all. That's new to me.
It means you're not
Unstable
going to
ogres.
flee, right? That's the big
Yeah.
thing ever. With unstable,
Yeah.
you will die and crumble, but
Mm.
you won't flee.
Yeah. Interesting. Um, it seems a lot to pay for that effect.
Hmm.
But I guess with anything with unstable, just don't lose combat by too much
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and stick around.
I mean, you're not as
So
an ogre as well. You're not terrible at grinding. You are quite elite in that you're not going to have many
yeah.
models, but you're not terrible at grinding because you can take a punch uh,
Yes.
with a generally low agility. So yeah,
Mm.
Gut Roarer, Channel One Horror. I like it as a nice. The horror's just a nice additional touch, I think.
Yeah, I've always liked this one, to be fair. I've always liked Aurora.
Yeah.
Just channel being cheaper than normal, really.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the fact that you get horror with it as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
all good.
Horde Master, +1 armor, Weapon Master, may not take weapon enchantments, but obviously you do have the Weapon Master action of it. In addition to bearer gains following weapons, so you get all the weapons and Weapon Master.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's fine. It's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's the classic Greasus Gold Tooth. Used to have all the
Yeah,
weapons and a
sure,
bit
yeah.
of a special character ode to the past. Obviously, we're looking into the future and having special
Mm,
characters again, so
yeah,
it'd be interesting. But yeah, it's a nice little big name. Not
sure.
too not overpriced as well because you get +1 armor with it. So
Yeah. Troll Eater, multiple wounds 2 towards height 3 and regeneration 5 plus.
mm, yeah, I mean regen 5 up for 40 points. Just talk about that on its own, and you think that's a pretty decent bargain. And yeah, the multiple wounds 2 against height 3. It's a good in the mirror match, obviously. And there's plenty of height 3 things around, so it's a good one. I like it.
Devastating charge, +1 attack, +1 strength, +1 AP for spine splitter. Love it. I think that's
This is
good.
my favourite in the
Yeah,
book, honestly.
yeah.
But when I go back to ogres, I will be looking to make my combat pyro wizard again, and
Yeah.
this spine splitter was part of it. I think it's a really good, like surprising item to make your character go from a decent fighter to a good fighter,
Mm.
or good to very good. So I love that item. I think it is a bit cheap. It could be more expensive, but then I put on my ogre player and remember I don't want it to be any more expensive.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I quite like Firebrand as a fluff thing. Breath attack, let's not worry too much about.
Hmm.
Flaming attacks and resistance flaming is cool, and Fireball as a bounce spell is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Why I'm seeing quite a lot of armies try and take, say, a master with channel and an extra bounce spell, and that
Yeah.
does cover you for a lot of magic. It seems to be like quite not minimum, but like quite a comfortable way of if you can get like one or two bound spells in addition to a master
Yeah.
or a couple of adepts, then that does kind of sort you out,
Check the box. Yeah.
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 So
Do
yeah,
that
I
and say
like
job
it.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
Headhunter.
say, the breath weapon isn't going to do much, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's topical.
I know. Yeah. Headhunter. Roll a d6 at the end of each combat round. Where the model did not break and cause one or more HP losses on an enemy model. On roll of a 3+, it recovers a wound. Okay, so like as long as you did a wound and you didn't lose, you might get a wound back.
Yeah, two-thirds of the
Yeah,
time you get a wound
it's all
back.
right.
Yeah,
It's all right.
it
I
is
don't,
all right. I think you got to be quite a fluffy player to take that. I think.
yeah,
But yeah, for 30 points, it's not the worst thing you could do.
yeah. There are just better ones, aren't there? Unfortunately,
Exactly.
that's what that issue is. Scrap Lord, commanding presence 12 for scraplings. As long as the bearer is joined to a unit of scraplings, models count as being the same height. For the purposes of
Yeah,
allocating that range, that means you can't pick it out.
indeed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's all right. If you like
yeah.
scraplings, it's all right.
Exactly. I'm intrigued of what you same height. Yeah, I mean it's another one I haven't seen in my
Yeah.
progression of ogre
I think that's
playing.
a bit
So
expensive. I think for what is essentially a fluff thing, because scraplings aren't.
go with a rubbish unit.
I don't know. Well, yeah, we might go there and see that actually they can be viable to be the majority of this, but I don't. Yeah, I don't really see that too much.
No.
Rotten Jaw, immune to poison attacks and has poison attacks. Friendly Kin Eater units may reroll Fell Ambush. I like this for 25 points actually. If you are going to be using Kin Eaters quite regularly, you could
Yes.
do a bit of a Kin Eater spam.
Yeah, it's either you're taking Kin Eaters and you're taking Rotten Jaw, or you're taking neither.
Yeah.
So it's as close to being an auto pick, providing you're taking that pick.
Yeah. Yeah. So a bit of a flavour. Horses for courses one.
And the poison attacks one is a weird one, but it goes with Kin Eaters. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, cool. And a good mix there, and enough to have a look at different things. It's all right if there's like 2 or 3, but the fact that there's 10 is pretty nice.
yeah, there's nothing too complicated in any of those. So it's just your basic. Here's your ogre. Make them into what you want them to be. Nice.
Yep. Magic items, and we've got Kagadai's Legacy.
Well done. Well done. Yeah. This one's been around for a while. Multiple wounds D3. It's pretty devastating because you're already going to be very high strength. Obviously, your agility is low to begin with, so taking great weapons isn't too much of a hardship. And yeah, I think it has to be 90 points because of those factors. You know, you're paying for the fact that you're not losing agility and you've already got decent strength. So to get multiple wounds on top of those things is awesome. Obviously, you lose the benefits of being able to have an Iron Fist, which have a lot of a lot of benefits built in. So it is a go one way or the other kind of thing. But yeah, it's a nice big weapon in the book.
Yeah, definitely. Viper's Curse, poison attacks, and 4 shots at strength 4, AP 2, but always hit on a 4. 4, 4, 4. I like this for base of Ogre pistols, and I don't like it for Ogre crossbow.
Yeah, I think so. Because the Ogre crossbow loses its area attack, and most importantly, its direct hit, which is what you are taking your Ogre crossbow for. So,
yeah, perfectly fine. You've got poison bullets in your pistol. Don't take it. Crossbow is way too expensive to reduce the strength. It's silly. Ritual blood like that. Iron Fist or better weapons +1 attack on a shaman, which is always nice if you want to, because shamans are going to be in your units, and you don't have too many units that are going to be bunkers and things like that in ogres. So the fact that you can make him a bit of a combat-y guy is pretty good here. And must re-roll magic dice that for 1 for its casting rolls. That's all the time, right? As well.
Yeah, I mean, how was that just stacked on the end of that? And
Mm,
why is this only 40 points?
yeah. So
um, yeah,
yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, you got to put it. I don't know. You could put it on an Iron Fist because it's pretty good actually. So if a shaman can get it, which I presume it can, I like this a lot. I think that's going to
I
be
think he's
pretty
going with
good.
my spine splitter build, to be
Yeah, man.
honest.
Uh, um,
Yeah.
Heart Ripper. So again, Iron Fist repair weapon plus 1 AP, which is always nice. Lethal strike and always hits on at least 3+.
Hmm,
Yeah, AP man.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, lethal strike is always nice to get in the right place at the right time, obviously. Um, so, and I think this is cheap enough to be, if you've got a few points left, stick it on.
Yeah, because I mean ogres as well. A few points is going to be 30 because they're all quite expensive
Exactly.
stuff. So
Yeah, you might not be able to take a whole ogre for 30 points. So
yeah.
you might have 30 points left over. Yeah.
In terms of armor, I'll go down. We'll do that for next. Wrestler's belt +1 armor, +1 strength, and devastating charge +1 armor. I like this
Mm,
actually. With the +1 strength on an armor is a subtle, nice way of
mm.
getting some really really high strength stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's been around a little while. I don't remember it having that +1 strength, but my memory of Ogre Book is hazy at best. And yeah, like you say, it's weird to see strength in there, but it goes with the wrestler. He's just a beefcake, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
Uh,
some good modelling builds with that.
yeah, definitely. Mammoth hide cloak, +1 armor, and can never be more than strength 5. It doesn't limit the AP. It just limits
No,
the strength, so it's likely that going to be wounding you on a 4, maybe a 3 as shamans. 3 player, res 4
I think they're all res 5, aren't they?
or
I'll
res
have
5.
a
So you're
quick
going to be
scan.
wounding you on a 4, basically. Is that
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it's doing
Uh,
there?
I think it also counts like against a cannonball or something though, so that's
Oh,
quite
okay.
nice.
Okay, so if you're
Um,
on your own,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
nice.
you have to be unmounted, but there's not a lot of mounts in ogres anyway.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, there is that.
Auric's Resilience, +1 res, likely taking you to 6, and Mountain Hide. Reminder of what Mountain Hide is?
That just takes away the multiple wounds, or halves the multiple wounds,
Oh, yeah, of
basically.
course. Yeah,
The,
cool.
the very first rule we came across.
Can't take special saves, but I like it nonetheless. 35 points is pretty nice.
Yep, it is.
Banner of Giginet,
Get. Yep,
Gaienget.
that's how
First
I say
strike,
it.
reroll to hit and reroll to wound of 1. I
Mm.
like, I mean, this is a good one. We know this is a good one.
It's a good one, but it's been nerfed. It's not as good as it used to be. It used to be reroll armor saves of 1 as well, and it used to be you could take it in core.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's. I think it's only lost a few points as well, maybe 20 points off of the cost. And it seems to have lost a bit more.
Okay.
But having said that, it's still very good. Let's
Yeah.
let's be honest. You know, the fact that it's only first strike, it always was anyway. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
also you got to remember that if you are putting it on a unit, I was about to say if you're putting it on a unit with great weapons, but you can't put it in core anymore. So I'm not sure. Yeah,
You could use it on
I
your
mean,
monstrous cav, couldn't you? Tusker.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
plenty of other options. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose at the minute this is the first army book that we've come across in this little series where it's one of the books that I play, and so I'm now not only commenting on the
Mm.
items in the book, but also on what I personally think of them in my army. So
Yeah.
this is a bit
Yeah.
more subjective. This one.
The bearer's unit for Pennant, the Great Grass Guy. Charge rolls are maximized, flee distance are minimized. Charge rolls maximized is fantastic in ogres. You're really going to want the
It
charge.
is.
So that
Yeah.
adding you on a bit of it is great. Skull of Kengrit
Yeah.
gives you terror, which is
Mm.
can be clutch at opportune moments where the opposition forgets.
Yeah, and just going back to the pennant, the one above, it didn't used to have flee distance gaining minimized, so it's got
Yeah,
5 points cheaper to
a bit
add
of a
that in.
leveler.
So
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a leveler, but that's fine. And yeah, Terra, that's quite expensive for what it is, I think. But if you can find a vulnerable unit with a lower discipline to the rest of its army and it's out of general's range,
Yeah.
it can be really useful at the right time.
Yeah,
So
take that chaff away, and then suddenly you can
yeah,
charge. So Yeah, very
exactly.
useful. Artifacts, Liger's Tongue, afflict -2 offensive. That's gone through the changes throughout. I still think that's pretty good because that
Yeah.
can -2 does mean it's likely a -1 to hit. There's not many times when
Yes.
it won't be a -1 to hit.
Yeah, you'd be
Um,
lucky if you meant that the opponent was hitting you on fives. You'd be very lucky because ogre defensive is never going to be high.
yeah, it's normally yeah,
But it pretty much will almost guarantee that they're going to be hitting you on fours rather than
yeah,
threes, and
yeah.
that
So
is what you always want. So,
a subtle parry there.
I mean, not as good as the version where you took multiple attacks away from your opponent, but
Oh
we,
yeah,
we
yeah,
won't
yeah.
go back there. That
No.
was pretty
Uh, yeah.
controversial.
Yeti Fur Strider, which is very nice, and Touch of Frost for the agility stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hmm
cool.
I like it.
And Rampage's Chain, Stomp attacks D3+1, and all models must reroll failed to wound rolls with Stomp. So it makes your Stomps really cool. So yeah.
Yeah.
Is there your standard Ogre? Does he have Stomp?
Yes, they retained it. A
They
lot of
retained
the
it.
height three stuff did not, but ogres did.
Cool.
Only one. You don't have the you know
Hmm.
extra on the charge anymore, which you used to have. That rule as a thing is all gone. So this
Yeah.
item kind of becomes a bit more useful
Yeah.
compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
But
Considering all of that, I think this is a very nice item, and 25 points, I think, for a whole unit to re-roll their stomps, I think is very nice.
yeah, if you haven't got an artifact that you'd rather take, then take that and
Yeah.
put it in your decent unit. But the only thing is that you haven't got a huge frontage on ogres usually, and if this
Yeah.
character is one of them, then
Yeah,
you might
sure.
only have 2 or 3 stomps. So arguably, are you going to pay 25 points to re-roll 3 strength 4 stomps?
Yeah.
But if you're doing that over the course of 2 or 3 turns, then it becomes more useful, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I quite like it. I don't think you get much cheaper than 25 points
Mm,
in terms of
yeah.
balance. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
exactly. Yeah.
Shared magic items, won't go through them, but these are the ones on offer. You do have Rod of Battle, and
Rod of Battle's
Banner of
crucial
Speed is a
in
very
the
nice
ogres.
one. Yeah, some nice ones there, as well as some nice weapons.
Mm,
And we
yep.
move on to the Hereditary with Children of Umi. Now doing all melee attacks suffer -1 to wound. It's a 6
Yeah.
plus, so it's a nice casting value.
It's a
Augment of
really good spell.
18. Probably not going to be out of range too much either. So I like it as a spell. And it's always very solid.
Yeah, it's just a go-to if you're taking a combat list. You're never going to leave home without it.
Yeah. Moving on to the characters, and we have a Great Khan up first. And Res 5, Strength 5, Offensive Defensive 6, 5 HP, 5 attacks, Strength 5, AP 2, Agility 4, Impact hits D3, Stomp 1, and options for a big name and weapons. And really, that's
Yeah.
there's not much to hide or to really
No.
pick apart there. It is what it is. He's a tough nut, and as you said, with a few extra attacks here and there on paired weapons, Iron Fist, and some items and things, that can soon go up to like 8 attacks.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, this is the only way to get discipline 9 in your army, which is kind
Yes.
of.
Okay.
I mean, you get disciplined along with it, which is obviously great. A lot of ogres or ogre players might struggle with fitting him in because you want all the other units, and then you need discipline 9 on top. Because stat-wise, he probably does very similar to what we see in the Khan on the next page. Because there isn't much that's special about him, because a Khan can get a big name as well. He isn't that much different.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Like
discipline 9
one
is important. So
HP, one offensive defensive, and an extra attack. That's pretty for what 130 as opposed to 250. It's 120.
yeah, it's a big jump in points for the extra.
Yeah.
But like I say, you want discipline 9, so
Yeah.
you have to pay for that. And the fact that you get HP and attacks along with it makes it probably pointed correctly. I just mean like characters aren't always
Yeah.
where it's at with ogres,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Agreed.
So yeah.
Moving on to the Khan, he is just a smaller version. Nothing
Mm.
else to hide. Can be a BSB. So that's where his
Very
role really
expensive
is.
BSB. Like, I
85,
mean,
yeah.
I know that they've gone up to 70 recently, or some books have, but he's 85. Wow, that's a chunk.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if his bigger base or multiple HP means he has to pay more. I guess
I
I
guess
guess he's
so because
harder
it's
to kill
harder
because
to
he's got
kill.
more
Yeah.
HP. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, shaman, pyromancy, shamanism, and thaumaturgy. Thaumaturgy is a very good high strength missile. Can be quite offensive from that point of view.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, otherwise he's res 5 as well, as we were saying before. 4 HP and 3 attacks basic. Can have 1 or maybe 2 more attacks with the choices of item and things. And yeah, can certainly. He's no pushover in combat.
No, no, exactly. I mean, like I say, I've built a shaman to fight, and I really loved playing that.
Hmm.
Um, and I think, like you said, thaumaturgy being an option with shamanism, pyromancy gives him options. Um, I think he's priced about right, as you'd expect for a wizard. And yeah, he's just. I mean, as we're kind of like shooting through this a little bit because there isn't much more to say. The stats are decent
No.
and they
Yeah.
do a job. So you can
Yeah,
spice
very
them up
much
with a
so.
bit of big names, but the big names aren't complicated, and you just choose what you want them to do.
Yeah,
So it transfers across all the characters.
very much so. Um, Mammoth Hunter. This is
He's probably the
probably
quirkiest. Yeah,
yeah. So offensive, defensive 5, 4 HP, res 5 strength, 5 res, 4 attacks basic with your standard impact hits and stomp. Animal Master. That is at lower yet. Gives commanding presence to saber-toothed tigers. And
yeah,
leader of
which is
the
cool.
pack, which is an option, gives him exclusive yetis or exclusive saber-toothed tigers. Oh no, it
Yep.
replaces exclusive yetis with saber-toothed tigers. Sorry, and gives
Mhm.
that unit Vanguard, losers unruly, and he counts as being the same height for range purposes. So we see that again, getting around that. He basically can take a nice unit of them.
Yeah, yeah. It's such a flavorful thing, really. And I mean, Wild Heart is also a flavorful thing. It used to be a
Yeah,
big name, now it's just restricted to the Mammoth Hunter, which is fine. And it does like take away half the army book as
yeah,
options.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but at the same time, you can stick. You don't have to
Reduces
take
your
as much
core limit,
core.
and yeah,
So
yeah, it changes. It completely changes the army look, doesn't it?
mm, mm.
For
Yeah, but
sure.
with less core, that potentially means what the units that you can take, you can just max out on them. So
Yeah,
that's quite a rare thing these days. I mean, I think that if you want to go with a quirky ogre list that nobody's expecting, or you want to try and find the latest new thing, then you're going to take Mammoth Hunters.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
so
But yeah,
yeah,
potentially quite a aggressive sort of style of lists. You're going to be choosing all the
a
rocker
mobile
rocks and things
list.
like that,
Yeah,
and yeah, Tuskers, stuff like that. So yeah, I quite like it. And yeah, your different flavour really of all the
yeah.
stuff.
I do think you have to go hard though. If you're going Mammoth Hunter, you're not
Yeah,
just going to take one. You're going to take a whole
yeah, yeah,
army of
yeah,
it. So
yeah. Onto the character mounts, and we have Tusker as an option. So I mean, res is going to be 5 because everything's res
yep.
5.
Hmm.
Strength 4 attacks at strength 5 is very nice for a mount.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you get impact hits as well from this guy. So
Mm.
that's cool. Um, yeah, the offense is always the problem.
Yeah, yeah,
Hitting
yeah.
is always an issue, but that's why you have to get around it with Rod of Battle and things like that.
Magic and stuff.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Rocker Rocks is your big dude. Res 6, Strength 6, 7 HP with 5 attacks.
hmm
And yeah, all the Devastating Charge stuff. Fury, Impact hits 3d3, and Stomp d6. This is your big dude that comes with it. Obviously, is fearless as well, so you've got to be careful about fleeing. And probably very similar to the Rocker Rocks that isn't a mount, I think.
the Frost Mammoth.
Oh, is Rocker Rocks only a mount option?
Yes,
I
yeah, the
see.
Frost Mammoth you can't be mounted on.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas this guy is the only big boy mount. Um, I mean, you're affected by Frenzy again, which obviously we've mentioned in a few of the army books. That once he's done that charge, you've got to turn around if you haven't planned it properly. Um, but he's good. I mean, I think this would be a candidate for being a Res 7 model.
Sure.
in the way things are going, because everything gained an extra HP, or a lot of things did.
Yeah.
Whereas a few things gained a bit of extra res. But yeah, he's always going to be a nice
So would
topical one
you'd
for
have
him.
that the other way around then? Res 7, 6 HP.
Probably, yeah.
A
I
bit like
mean,
the Gore-Tech.
yeah, because Mountain Hide kind of defends him from multiple wounds anyway. Although arguably the 7 HP is pretty important if you're turning multiple wounds 2 into multiple one every time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's fine.
Fair enough. Moving on to core then, and the tribesman. So your standard ogre of the like. 3 HP, 3 attacks, strength 4, AP 1, res 4. Just a 6 up armor unless you take Iron Fist, which is virtually the shield extra thing. But Iron
Yeah.
Fists are 6-point a model as opposed to paired weapons, which are free.
Yeah, paired weapons are quite good on tribesmen because they dip up the offensive skill to 4, which is pretty important. If you want to take small units of tribesmen, then paired weapons are nice. Not that Iron Fist don't give you that extra attack as well, but they cost a lot more. And if you're taking darts of these guys, it's nice to be cheap. But I mean, impact hits on core, strength 4 impact hits is always good. You can build them in a big old unit of 15 if you want to. So there's that. I mean, you're always going to struggle to keep your ranks in an ogre army, and there is that. But they're just a different army compared to all the other lists, all the other books. They're just unique in their own place. But I think they're a solid block. Obviously, they do a very different role to the bruisers, which we're probably going on to in a minute.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm struggling to say more unique stuff about these lists because you very much just see what you get, really.
Yeah,
with
well,
all
the
these
tribesmen,
units.
in terms of stats wise, they're exactly the same. Bruisers have a bit of an extra pip of armor, but that's because they've got the great weapons alongside them, I think. So they're going to be strength 6 in the end, as opposed to strength 4, but they are going last because of great weapon stuff. So the big difference between the two is that bruisers do come with a first strike resolute. So an additional rank, which is very nice in today's meta, but can't be quite as big as it to start off with.
No. And to get extra models is expensive. Like you're paying a lot for that strength 6, but probably should be because you're only losing 1 agility. So, and first strike resolute is very good. Let's be honest, because you want to be battering things the minute you get into it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
I think they're pointed correctly, and yeah, probably my favourite unit as opposed to I really like my Bruiser Death Stars, but yeah, really cool.
Definitely. So I mean, out of the two, the big difference is the high strength versus more attacks. Going on to scraplings, and they are not anywhere near as good stat wise. 1 HP, offensive, defensive 2, but they do come with a few different rules and options. So if you want your bows, I've seen them got used as 4 lots of 20 quite a bit. In terms of scraplings, just for a bit of small arms fire. They come with bow 4+ for an extra point, but you can also shield them, I guess, and they all have rally around the flag on themselves.
Yeah, which is cool. What does exclusive Scraplord mean for them? Do they have to have a Scraplord?
No,
that doesn't
that
mean
means
that, does
that
it?
they can only Scraplord
That's
can
the only
only
character
go
that
in these.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'll just get my head around that for a minute.
Yeah.
But I like that you've got a unit that can have 60 models in it. Like if you are going rank and file,
and
this
it's
is a
res
big
3.
unit.
They are at the end of the day.
Yeah, and you can get
could be
shields
res
on them
2.
as well.
Yeah.
So if you want parry, this could be a unit that you could just send into something, and it would take a long while to get through if you've got discipline bubble nearby or a BSB nearby as well. Well, rallying around the flag they've got anyway.
Yeah, so it's just just the thing. So an annoyance, I think, or some small arms fire. They're about the only two options I think from these guys.
Yeah, Yeah,
I
I'd say
guess
so.
I guess you could argue that they're cheap scoring as well for a 20-man
Oh, of
unit.
course. Yeah.
Just to try and get some objective here and there. Although
The
we
only
don't know
trouble
what the
is
new
the minute
objectives are.
anything, yeah, and anything looks at them and they're in trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely.
if they can be invisible and claim an objective, then you've done very well.
Yeah. Um, and moving on, and that is it was core. Saber-tooth tigers, although I guess these could be core if you use them in
They could be.
5 or more. So yeah, saber-tooth tigers are 2 HP each, res 4, strength 4, 3 attacks at AP 1. Can have the mammoth hunter in, so you could use a big unit 15 with a mammoth hunter.
Yeah, I've always been intrigued by this. I don't own enough saber-tooth tigers to ever play it, but I've always thought that their stat line is very good, and 2 HP on each model is quite deceptive for their survivability, especially at Res 4. The only issue, of course, is you've got no armor at all, so they will go down to anything that wounds them. But 3 attacks each is nice. And offensive skill 4 is quite rare in the book, so you know they could easily be one of your few models that might actually be hitting on 3s, or maybe even 2s with a bit of a boost. So.
Yeah, possibly. Not much outside of magic to give them a bit of a boost, but yeah,
No.
they're good.
I know, of course, you can never take any command on them either. There's no standards or anything like that, so they're never going to break things unless they've done it through their own sheer ferocity.
Yeah. Scrappling trappers, and these are a bit different to the normal scrapplings that you have. They have lethal strike shooting, which is very nice in itself. They have it's a trap as a rule, as well as throwing weapons added on. The it's a trap allows them to. Well, do you know this a bit better, or is it?
I think it's changed a little bit since I did it, but I think it's triggered in the same way as normal. You put it on a terrain feature. I'm just a terrain feature, any terrain feature.
Yeah.
Let's recharge a unit containing. Oh, okay. So if you're in a terrain feature, then you've trapped the whole terrain feature, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, that is kind of a bit how it used to be. It's a lot of words, but I think effectively, once you've gone into a terrain, you've trapped that terrain, and then they suffer 2d6 strength 4 hits every time they go in it.
Yeah.
And that can't be modified. Yeah, interesting.
I mean, 2d6 strength 4 is a breath weapon, a decent breath weapon as well. So
it means you're not going to be cleared by chaff yourself, you know, and that is quite good. You have to dedicate something to actually taking them out. So I like them as a unit. The lethal strike is nice. So
can just help you plink away before you get
in.
Onto Yetis, and these are the touch of frost chaps, where we mentioned before. Come with paired weapons as standard. So for the agility, and agility 3 to start off with is not bad considering that.
Yeah, light troops as well, and vanguard. So they're going to be your ones who can just run at something if you want them to. I do kind of feel that they need a bit of help from other units in the army to be effective.
Mammoth hunters.
Yeah, or just some sort of solid core unit, and they're not scoring either because of the light troops. But what was the thing I always used? Yeah, because paired weapons gives them offensive skill 4 and 4 attacks each. They can unload a little bit if you get them in the right situation, and because they're attacking on the charge, effectively they're agility 5. I mean, I know they're only agility 4, but because of touch of frost, the opponent's going down 1. So if you can get them in the right situation, and strength 5 as a basic model without any weapons is really good. So yeah, Yetis are just one that I always want to be really good, and they always just die a bit easily for me. So
sure, yeah, only 5 up armor and nothing else to it.
Yeah, because you can only take 5 models max in a unit, you're never going to have Yetis to spare. So there's always that.
Yeah. Kinita, very similar of things. A bit of the ambusher, and has stubborn as well. So as well as regen. So it's quite hard to shift sometimes. 4 HP, res 5, strength 5, 4 attacks. Again, it's hatred is another thing to bear in mind here, so pretty good. It's hatred all the time as well, rather
Yeah.
than first strike hatred, because the hatred
Mm.
rules obviously like that now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I keep on thinking that this guy would have poison attacks because of the rotten
Yeah.
jaw thing from earlier.
Mm.
I think I even said it when we talked about rotten jaw, like the poison attacks goes with the kin eaters, but they don't have poisoned attacks, and I think that's just the extra pip that they could really use, especially with that re-rolling to hit with hatred. I think given poisoned
Mm.
attacks, they'd be so much better.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's really easy to just not do a lot with this unit. And the unruly and the unstable, it just means you might not achieve anything with them. So, yeah, they're all right again.
Yeah,
But
they do look like. I mean, 150 points isn't a lot, so
it isn't.
it can be chaff and can do a decent amount.
Yeah,
You're just looking for a little bit extra, aren't you? It doesn't really
yeah,
do too much.
yeah,
Outside, again, all models can be chaff, right? If they're cheap enough, but outside of doing that, it doesn't really achieve much on its own.
no,
But ambushing's a thing, so war machine hunting, it definitely will beat
yeah,
war
yeah,
machines. Having 2 or 3 of them can always help with combo charges, getting in the rear and flank. So that is a thing. I suppose if you being a bit clever with them, they can be pretty
hmm
good.
yeah, yeah. I think you've got to have them as opposed to it.
Yeah,
Um, you know, so
but
you've got
but yeah,
one or
in
two
a
to spare.
vacuum, I suppose that's why in a vacuum they don't look all that fantastic, is because
Yeah,
on actually when you're using them on the table, you don't ever use them on their own. You know.
mm, yeah,
So yeah. Um, Moving on to Tusker Cav, and I do like these guys quite a bit. I
yeah,
always feel like they should have 4 HP.
yeah. I mean, considering Goblin Chariots have 4 HP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Res 5 is the issue. They either have one or the other, don't they? Really,
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
is probably the way of looking at it. Um, and they're very good. Like they've got a good charge range, good mobility, good swift stride. It will always make them a threat. And you can make them quite interchangeable. You know, if you either go paired weapons or great weapons, it changes their usage quite a lot between the two.
Hmm.
Changes who you're going to attack with it. Um, the Tuskers are where it's at in terms of the actual attacking ability, as opposed to the
Yeah.
Rider, who's usually just a normal Rider, unless of course you're going great weapons, in which case make sure you're hitting. Um, but yeah, they're just a solid brick of muscle charging into you, really.
Yeah.
And the impact it's D3 with a strength 5 is always going to be nice. I own so many of these guys. At some point, I need to take a Tusker army,
You do. You
but
absolutely do.
just never got round to it.
But
I think
yeah,
I've got
yeah.
16 of these models in my garage.
Yeah. Wow. No, you definitely need to do that.
I do,
How many?
yeah.
How many can you have per thing?
Uncommon
5.
2 or 3, 3 units. I can
So
never remember.
yeah, yeah. So well, yeah, 10 you could have in core, and then a load of characters. Sorry, not
Yeah,
in core. I don't mean that, but
no,
yeah.
that'd be amazing. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
give you
take
it.
it.
I'll give you it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like these guys quite a bit. I suppose with 3 HP, surprisingly uh, flimsy sometimes, though.
Yeah,
Even
and
with
once you
all
take
those
one
stats.
model off them, they're
Yeah,
gonna swiftly fall down.
yeah.
This
Well, they
one's
lose
the
at
u
least 7 attacks. Yeah.
Yeah, and once you also add get to 5 models, 85 points a model, you're not going to get a lot of upgrades with that banner enchantment if you have a full unit.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Um,
really
so
see 5 models because you lose. Right, so they're height 4, so they do get 4 additional attacks, right?
yeah,
But you only get, you got at the minute you got 7, 8 with paired weapons plus the stomp plus the impacted. I don't really see big ranked up units doing that much. I much
no,
prefer them in groups of 3, maybe 4, wide, uh, arguably. But yeah, the fight I don't see you doing that too much. I know you
no.
can. You can have a 3x2 with a character. But
I don't think your character can go with them, unfortunately.
you can't put a guy on a
Can't put a
Tusker?
character with them, no, because the only character that can go on a Tusker is a Mammoth Hunter, and he's exclusive Yetis or Sabertooths.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't like the 5. I know it's a silly one.
exactly.
I would make that 6 then, but I guess points wise you can't do that, right?
No, exactly. Yeah, you'd be over
For system
600 before
points.
you even
Yeah,
added
so
anything. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and you
I,
can't go 5 wide, or you could, but
yeah,
that's half your deployment zone.
yeah.
Um,
To be honest, I would make it 2 to 5 as an option.
hmm.
If you could, I know you get lots
So you
of
could go 2 by 2.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I prefer them in 3s, maybe 4s here, and then just going as many as you can. I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Merc vets, and these are always a bit of a fan
Oh
favorite
boy. Oh yeah.
unit. We have. So
Nerfed
let's have
though.
a look.
They have been nerfed.
Nerfed, have they? And we
Yeah,
say
they lost an
nerfed. This is
attack.
in September, right? Last year.
Yeah, in the 2 years since I played them, yeah, they used to be 4 attacks each, so they've
They
gone
used to
down
be
to
4
3.
standard, did they? Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you're fairly standard guy. Strength 5 to start off with, AP2, but that always have been. 3 HP, 3 attacks, res 4, offensive, defensive 4. So these are
Mhm.
your best standard
Oh, your elites.
ogres,
Yeah,
your elites and that. One impact hit, 1 stomp, as everything has. Can have great weapon, halberd, paired weapons, or iron fist. Everything apart from the iron fist is free, which is interesting.
yeah, yeah, and not as expensive as it used to be. So the cost is actually inbuilt now,
Yeah, so
which is yeah.
agility 2. Is it
Mm.
not better to just be great weapons at strength 7, AP4?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it depends on what extra option you're taking with them.
Well, I guess that it makes sense that the 4-up armor go into a 3-up with Iron Fist as well as the extra attack does
Yeah.
cost. So I
Hmm.
understand that, but and all the others are kind of a you choose your own fluff side of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be tempted with some strength 7 is scary, man.
I mean, you could just go halberds and go strength 6, and then
Strength 6 is decent, yeah.
keep your agility at what it is.
For just in case you come against those other great weapon dudes, yeah. You
Yeah.
must choose one of these options.
Yep.
First Strike Fury, Lethal Strike
Absolutely.
always, or Devastating Charge, +1 Strength, +1 AP.
Yeah.
The
I think
latter of
any are
that
good.
is five points a model. Yeah, but any of them I can see being useful.
Yeah, especially if you combine Devastating Charge with Swift Stride, which is
Yeah,
in the second group of options.
and these are
So
this is a unit where the is it Banner of Gignet is, I
yeah.
mean, looking pretty good on them.
Yes, it's for them basically.
Yeah,
Again, you're going to struggle with your maximized points for a unit, so you
yeah,
can very
sure.
quickly get to 600 points.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And so as well as that, you may choose one of these as well. Magic Resistance 2, Vanguard, or Swift Stride. Don't see many people using the Magic Resistance, but that is the cheapest one at 3 points, 5 and 10 respectively. Yeah. Vanguard's
the only
pretty
issue with the
nice
Swift
at
Stride
5.
one is you've got a 45-point magic banner, which can do it. So
Yeah,
if you end up
yeah.
paying 50 plus points for this one, then
You may as well
probably
do
because
that.
you've got the banner elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good that those options are a may choose one as opposed to a must choose one, because I think it's probably quite easy just to take the Swift Stride banner and not choose Magic Resistance or Vanguard, because they're a bit expensive when you get
Yeah.
an expensive unit already. But that's why the may choose is really good on that.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
yeah.
really good. Can get very expensive very quickly. But yeah, they're your combat mercenaries. Then you have your mercenary gunners, which have been changed. Well, again, we say changed, but they are now a
They've just
completely
been split
different
into
unit.
two. Yeah.
And you can either
But
have your
not to be
brace of ogre
confused with
pistols.
Bombardiers, which we'll get to.
Yes, which we go to in a sec. Brace of ogre pistols and lethal strike, or hunting spear, iron fist, and poison attacks. Interestingly, they tell you which ones you have for which.
Yeah.
And you can't combine pistols with poison attacks, for example. So they are either or.
Yep.
You can have ogre crossbow and accurate as well as an option, which is very nice. Accurate on these
Yeah.
guys is
That's
decent.
quite cool.
You don't have to, but you can. So you have to choose one of those. You can choose magic resistance, Swift Rider, or Vanguard on these guys as well for the same pointage.
Yeah.
Probably you're not looking to do that as much with these guys because they're still the same stats, right? They're still.
Yeah. I mean, Vanguard might be useful to get them into a better position than where you deployed them.
Yeah.
Without having any, to hit modifiers for
Yeah.
unwieldy or whatever. I don't think Ogre Crossbow's got unwieldy, but still.
Yeah. So that's the one of the, I say, major differences, but minor differences is that these guys are a pip less of armor as well. So you got to be a bit more careful with them in combat because they anything res 4 armor 2 is surprisingly flimsy as well.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, these are your shooting mercenary guys. Do a very similar job, but can shoot as well.
Yeah, I'm guessing the Banner of a Gainger is in combat, isn't it? Yeah, first strike. Yep. Just checking.
Yeah. Moving on to the bombardiers, and these are your different ones. They basically have a different option as the hand cannon as their weapon. 3 shots, strength 5, AP 3, accurate, march and shoot, and quick to fire, as well as stand and shoot. These are your heavy hitters in terms of shooting. 3 to 8.
Yeah.
I mean, how much is 8? Because
you're gonna. Yeah, exactly.
Having 24 shots at strength 5, AP 3, with march and shoot, so a maximum 24-inch range. But yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's max 500 points for the unit, but I think if you take 8 with a full command, you're looking at 490. If I've added up that right,
Okay,
I might not
sure.
have done. So I think it's 490 without a banner enchantment.
Yeah.
And you're probably not going to get a banner enchantment for 10 points, but who knows?
Is there many magic enchantments, or banner enchantments that you really want with these guys? Unless you're trying to make them into a combat unit.
Yeah, I mean, probably not. I mean, depends if you wanted to. Yeah, you don't need to, because a lot of stuff is going to want to stay well away from these, because even with stand and shoot, you don't really want to charge them either.
I think these guys are looking pretty good. I don't know whether having a big unit or multiple small units of like 4 maybe are better. But I do like that weapon. 12 inches isn't that far, so you do have to be careful about having to get close. But
you got march and shoot and quick to fire to get there.
Yeah, so it doesn't affect your things. It is only 5+ aim. That should be worth noted as well. Any infernal dwarf blunderbuss guys will be shouting at that and saying that's not actually very good. But yeah,
yeah, it means one of your 3 shots is hitting, the others aren't.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
you may as well be shot 1, always hit.
Yeah.
Although, as we know, sometimes you don't get a single 5-up.
Yeah. But sometimes you get 3. So there you go.
Yeah, I think they've lost a little bit of flavour in the roll d6 hits. I think that was a bit of a flavourful thing.
Yeah.
I think Ogre players probably enjoyed getting their bags of d6s out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. It's changed a lot over the years.
Yeah. On the shooting as well, Thunder Cannon, which is your chariot cannon, dude. Cannon 4+, it's just like a cannon. Works exactly the same. In that refrain, 48 inches rather than 60, I think, a normal cannon, but doesn't really matter.
Still going to hit what
but
you
it's
need,
a chariot on top, so it's got a Tusker and then Bombardier crew guy there as well.
Yeah, only the d6 hits as opposed to d6+1. Not sure what the reason is for that, but yeah, I don't know what the rule is for why you get the +1 and why you don't. But there's that. I think you have to be taking a certain type of list to put them in. But these days, you either take cannons and you're laughing because you come up against monsters, or you take cannons and you come up against rank and file the whole tournament. So it's either you do or you don't. And yeah.
I mean, at 5 HP, 5 res, 3 up armor, it's going to take a little bit for the opposition to get rid of you.
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
300
Yeah,
points is
yeah.
pretty nice for a
A cannon that can
maneuverable
fight
cannon.
and with
Yeah,
impact hits. So yeah, I think with a bit of support as well, it can be
yeah,
a very good model.
yeah, cool. I like the versatility of these guys. I think it's
Mm,
quite nice. 2 phases you get out of them. And charge 8 is pretty nice.
yeah, and multiple wounds D3+1 makes it a good
Yeah, yeah,
cannon. So
definitely.
yeah,
Continuing the shooting, Scratpult. And the chariot shooting as well. This is your area 3x3, which is actually pretty good for a catapult
hmm
type thing. Lethal strike on them as well as strength 4 AP1. I quite like these 260s, not a bad thing. Again, you got the impact hits
no,
with a Tusker and 7 scraplings on top
yeah,
flying around
just a
everywhere.
poke sticks at you. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, pretty good.
yeah. I mean, the only thing to be aware of is your scrappling discipline, but
Yes. Yeah.
with that rally around the flag thing, you probably have got ways of getting around that in your scrappling army. So you're probably keeping your army quite disciplined with other ways other than on the
Mm,
model itself. And
yeah.
yeah, 3x3. If you can roll a few sixes on your lethal strikes, then you're going to be surprising some models. Equitane won't want to come across this guy.
No, not at
Um,
all.
yes, because it'll go right through their armor. But then, as we saw in the last book review, that nobility rule might come into play if their armor's
Mm,
taken away. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a good rock lobber.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a
For sure.
chariot to boot, which is why they pay a bit more for it. But it's
Yeah.
fine.
Moving on to the big beasts and the rock or rocks.
Mm,
In thing, it looks. Just trying to have a look. It looks pretty much the same as what would be as the mount. So we've kind of already gone over most of it with it. Coming with a tamer as well, which is basically a merc vet stat.
yeah,
Um, and the option of a hunting spear, crossbow, or lance
yeah, yeah. It's cool.
for your rider.
I'm trying to work out if it's less expensive than the one that gets ridden. Um, it's more expensive. Though the Mammoth Hunter gets to ride one for 300 points.
Yeah.
So this is obviously, but you're having a Merc vet on top rather than a Mammoth Hunter. So that's kind of
Mm.
give and take here and there. And obviously not being a character, but they're always going to be solid. I'm not a fan of Impact Hits 3D3. I kind of think
Okay.
give it 2D6 instead and make it. But this is more reliable, so people will say they prefer 3D3.
Yeah.
Um,
3 to
yeah,
9 over 2 to 12.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a solid beast, and I think I've already said kind of what I thought about the Rock Auroch in the character section. In that I think it would be a candidate for Res 7, as opposed to the HP because Mountain Hide covers it.
Mm.
But yeah, he's always going to be a decent. He's pretty cheap for a big boy, to be fair.
Yeah. There's not. Between 400 and 500 does seem to be where the
Mm,
monsters sort of come. So I don't mind. I'd even perhaps say it's a little bit on the expensive side once you factor in everything.
yeah, yeah. I mean, with anything like this, though, if you can make sure you hit, then you're fine.
Yeah.
The minute you start
Yeah, I mean,
missing
he's
three
only
or four of those attacks,
yeah, he's strength
yeah,
6, which is nice, but there's only 5 attacks on him.
mm,
You are putting a lot into the impact and stomp. You do really need
yeah,
him to charge.
yeah. I mean, Fury helps obviously because if you do roll sixes, then you get
True,
more.
true.
Um, so,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, he's all right. I'd say
I think yeah, with everything in the Ogre army, all of them are great, but they need a bit of support from each other.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah,
And the Frost Mammoth is 380 points, so a bit cheaper. Not
yeah,
as devastating, doesn't have the high impact hits or anything like that, but does have the Dengray's Ice Storm, which is a
Yeah.
bound spell, which is very nice to have on a monster. I do like that. And the Freezing Aura, which is the -3 agility within 12 inches, which essentially is what you're getting the Frost Mammoth for.
It's huge. It's huge. It's a great rule, and it's a lot bigger than it used to be. That bubble. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I wouldn't focus too much on its attacks and stuff like that. That is just a bit
No, not at
bonus.
all.
Although Strength 6 is not anything to, not a pushover for any
And having
reason.
2 Merc bets on top of it instead of 1 is good
Yeah,
as well.
I'd potentially see 2 of these getting in the list, as well.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
big boys and that can. I mean, as a support, they're great, but that 12-inch to get like a 24-inch.
Everything
Well,
to be agility
yeah,
2 or worse.
yeah. -3 agility is a big enough buff to a minimum of 1.
Mm.
I think,
It
yeah,
makes elves down to 2. They're
yeah.
not going to like
It really helps with like your Mervex on halberds, as you say.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like this as a thing. I think this is
Mm.
one of the nicer unit entries. Again, we're looking at everything fairly in a vacuum, but uh, on its own, it looks like a nice one to have.
It's presenting me a lot of problems, this book review, because I want to take everything.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Moving on to the
Which is a good
mercenary.
place for a book to be in, to be fair.
It is. It is quite. Yeah,
Mm.
like the internal balance seems pretty good. We'll
Mm.
do the last one first. Mercenary giant, and his
Yeah.
giant sea giant do is giving him the choice of first strike, fury, lethal strike, or devastating charge +1 strength AP, which is nice.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
lethal strike actually is pretty good here. Obviously, again, 5 attacks with rage. Offensive 3 is that's the big thing for any giant really is the hitting part.
It
Um,
is. Yeah. Which is
but
why
yeah,
you like your Beast Herd one so much,
oh, the
because
Beast
he
Herd
already
one's
hits.
fantastic. Yeah, you don't care about
Mm.
hitting. You get past a massive thing. But all these extra things, you having a bit of lethal strike or fury on these guys is pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially as you can have a giant club, a great weapon, or an iron fist with it as well. Iron fist for free is pretty good there.
Yeah.
5 up armor takes them to a 5 up armor. Yeah, it's all right.
The only thing with that is that for your rage to come in, you want to take a few wounds.
Yeah,
So, like, it's a very fine line with giants, isn't it? Like,
it
you
is. Yeah,
take
yeah,
one too many wounds and he's dead. You take exactly X -1 wounds and you are very happy.
yeah.
So,
Agreed. Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, it's as a giant with a few extra flavorful things that does make it feel like an ogre giant. So I quite like that as an entry as well.
yeah, always in a good place, giants.
Yeah, which does take us to the end of the book. And I would say it's a short one, but it is just over an hour. So
Okay,
it's short
there
for
you go.
things.
Time flew there. I was enjoying myself. Which
Absolutely,
is
and
weird because there's not a lot of colourful, different things to say about ogres, but they're just solid all round.
yeah, there doesn't seem anything that really screams at you that it's amazing. I do like the
Mm,
Frost Mammoth and the big names. All of those seem like a really nice. Like there's some really good combos in that.
yeah,
But yeah,
I would
overall,
like
quite
people to
nice.
comment and tell me
Yeah,
what to take in my ogre list
yeah,
because I've been saying I'm going to take ogres soon, and I am. Maybe not in the next month or so, but
yeah.
I definitely want to take them soon. So let me know what you think is the best units to take, because I haven't seen many ogre armies for a little while, so I need some help.
Yeah.
Oh.
Enough said. Um, I thought you were going on then. Okay. But yeah,
No, 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 I'm done. That was my piece.
that was it. That was it. No,
Help
yeah. Thanks
me.
very much for watching. We'll call it there for today and the ogres. A solid book. I
Yeah,
think everything seems about right. It doesn't seem
yeah,
too good, too bad. It doesn't
yeah.
scream out, but it doesn't. Yeah,
The only thing is, of course, is there's only one unit that you can take where you can guarantee you're keeping your ranks and files, and that's scraplings. And you've got to be
yeah,
a brave man to take an army of scraplings.
yeah,
So in the current meta, they might suffer from being a bit too unique. But that shouldn't shy away from the fact that ogres are just going to be a nice bruising army to take.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
And they've always been sort of like a fun one to come up against, and they don't catch you out on rules. Fairly simple.
No.
From that point of view as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
watch out for combat res. Otherwise, have fun playing them.
Definitely. And yeah, I will be looking forward to playing them in a couple of months. So let me know your thoughts.
Yeah. Otherwise, guys, like, share, subscribe. Check out all these other battle army book reviews and the bat reps and the D&D and all that stuff. Otherwise, stay safe, have fun playing Ninth Age as we always do, and until next time, see you later.